Yo, what's poppin', everybody? Welcome back to the Celtics Chronicle. As usual, I'm your boy Adam Taylor. I'm joined by a new member of the Celtics Chronicle team, Mr. Mike Weber. We're going to be calling him Webbs or Weber as we go through the show. Mike, what's poppin', man?
What's going on, Adam? How you doing, man? It's good to be here.
I'm living, man. I'm living. I'm waiting for this Celtics game to come on. It's about another hour and a half until it records. We're recording on Wednesday, April 1st, April Fool's Day. I want to talk about Nikola Vucevic. So, if you have been following the Celtics at all this year, which I hope people watching this show have, Vuce has been out for roughly, 10, 11, 12 games at this point. Played a while, got hurt. We haven't seen him since. And to be honest with you, the Celtics haven't really missed him. Luka Garza stepped up, stepped into that role, and has played really, really well. He's been progressing great all season long. He's coming off a career night from the game against the Atlanta Hawks on Monday. I think he finished that with 20 points. He's been rebounding great, proving himself to be one of the best screeners in the NBA, which leads me to the question, do the Celtics need Nikola Vucevic? And what I mean by that is, do they need him beyond this season? Do they need him heading into the playoffs? Is he really that much of an upgrade at this point in his career over someone like Luka Garza that's just continued to improve?
Yeah, I mean, he really looking back after the trade, I was excited, but I think possibly I was excited about probably the last 5 or 6 years of rumors that we were going to get him. It felt like every time we were doing, the grapevine about what's going to happen for trade rumors, we're going to get Vooch, we're going to get Vooch, and dating back to when he was on the Magic, I think. And um, obviously, he had one really killer game for us, but otherwise, it was not a great experience the first couple games that he played with us. I would say maybe one and a half great games for us. And Luka's certainly been a revelation. I think I really loved that interview that he did where he shared about his teammates keeping him like upwards, like positive, while he was sitting on the bench after the trade. And I think it speaks a lot to Luka's character. But Vooch is definitely it's definitely a hell of a quandary for us because we got to figure out like what's this going to look like. As far as this year, I think it's valuable to have a great veteran on the bench who's offensively skilled. And
That's
I mean,
That's where the question is, right? Like Vooch is just a more proven talent at this point, and that's not saying that Garza can't be a guy that makes the impact, but Vooch is just proven. You know what you're getting from him. He's pretty much a double machine.
yep,
He's going to dominate on the glass. He's going to stretch the floor for you. He's a really, really good passer. I think if
much
you
better.
run
By
him,
the way, much better than I recall.
yeah, like I've been surprised. Run him on elbow actions, put him on the pinch. You can do so many different things with him in terms of just like big man creation. And if you watch the Celtics play a lot of times, especially with Nimi, what they do is they like to run their bigs in what's called the delay action. So you have the big outside around the top of the perimeter, you space your other guys, your shooters, and everyone around the rest of the perimeter. So 5-out offense, big man with the ball in his hand, it's called a delay, usually because it slows down this play, the play of game. What the Celtics have done great over the years is use non-shooting bigs as their delay five, which is why Nimi runs a bunch of keeps actions in the delay. Last year it was Luke Cornett running DHOs there. I think that with someone like Vooch, his ability to create out of that as well, to spot passes for guys cutting off the 45, coming on from the wing, cutting baseline, is he can create for you with some nice dimes. Along with his shooting threat, he does give you this like different dimension that Luka Garza doesn't give you in terms of just he can pass and then he can operate as a trail man to try and rebound. The only downside on Vooch versus Luka is that Luka's just a significantly better screener. I think that there's the space that Luka Garza creates when setting screens, just the screen assist and the potential screen assist that he creates is just near unmatched. And for a pick and roll heavy team, an off ball screening heavy team like the Celtics are, having somebody that can create that type of separation, it can come in handy, especially once we get into the postseason and the game moves into more of a half court situation.
Right. Well, and like Navy obviously is like an elite rim runner and runs that action probably as well as anybody in the league at that position. What's kind of underrated is Garza's 3-point shooting this year. I was actually stunned when I took a deeper dive to realize he was shooting 44% from three this year. And Vooch is not terrible, by the way. Even though the numbers haven't been elite for us, he's still shooting 37% for a big. That's pretty amazing. Um, and I think it's out of sight, out of mind. I kind of liken Luca to a little bit of what we get with Baylor or Hugo. Like when he comes in, it's like instant caffeine. Like he crashes like nobody else. He screams like an animal, and he certainly is out there giving his all. I love the nickname Garzilla. They throw that out there during the game. It's so funny. It's so perfect though, because I don't know if you've seen any of the memes of him like running. Like there's like video out there of like Garza running over
I've
cities and
seen
stuff
those.
like, oh, those are great. But I do think when Brad and I, well, obviously we can't speak for Brad, but knowing the history of Brad, I think he purchased or traded for Vooch with the idea of Tatum having a toy to play with high pick and roll action too. Because that was something that he literally, I mean, him and KP, him and Al, that was some incredible offense when we had that going. But I think the underrated part of the underrated element to all this is Garza's numbers, efficiency, field goal are actually better than Vucevic's so far this year, or at least for the Celtics. So that's where the debate comes. Because you know what? I was also surprised that there was an 8-year disparity in age. Because when you mentioned earlier about what does it look like now? So for now, I think you got to see what Vucevic has when he comes back. But for the long term, I mean, Garza's 8 years. I didn't know Vooch was 35. I mean, I know he's been in the league, seems like since like Clinton was in office, it feels like here. But having said that, I didn't realize he was 35. Like in my mind, I'm thinking, God, did he play with Scal at USC? You know, that's how old Vooch is. And but I do think that it's a hell of a conversation. I think I kind of liken it to some of the conversations we've had about Walsh. You know,
Yeah.
like Walsh was great with Vooch with those 45 cuts. Same thing with Hugo. Garza is a solid passer. It's certainly great DHO guy, but Vooch is like Al Horford level passing, like stuff that you don't expect to see. It's like very vet savvy, very underrated. So I think for the present, we have to see how Vooch is doing and get him time with Tatum because, you know, Tatum player of the week this week, you know,
Was, yeah. Shout out
right?
JT.
Big jump from like a week ago where the media was questioning whether or not he was going to be okay. Do you love it? Don't you love this? And here in Boston, you know, you can only imagine how many hot takes are going on around about Tatum here. But back to Garza and Vooch, I think it's doesn't have to be either or for the present, but I do think it's an interesting conversation about next year for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Vooch is heading into, and I agree. I think that you run with the experienced hand once the postseason comes, and then
Yes.
guards will kind of, I'm expecting Missoula to shrink that rotation to 8 men, maybe 9 at a push if you're going for a bit of a bigger postseason
Based
rotation.
on matchups too,
I
yeah.
think that Garza becomes then your like backup big, maybe spot minutes. If Vooch isn't playing well, you put Garza in. If you need some additional physicality, maybe you put Garza over Vooch in those situations too. But for the most part, I'm agreeing that Vooch is needed for this season because of what he gives you as a veteran, because of what he gives you as a passer. Plus, he is rebounding at a better rate than what Garza is this year.
Yeah.
Garza's doing great work on the offensive glass. But if you really want to control the tempo, you need to be able to shut down the defense. Like you need to be able to lock teams up to one shot possessions.
Yeah.
Don't let them get offensive boards. With Tatum and Vooch on the floor, that's going to be money every time.
Yeah.
So, and then like, obviously you can factor in the rebounding. Jalen Brown's improved as a rebounder. Nemi's improved as a rebounder. So I think that that's what's going to happen right now. What I do find interesting is coming in, both Vooch and Garza were both kind of like the biggest red flag to do with their game was defense. Everybody was like, these guys can't defend.
Hmm.
Vooch is a turnstile. People are just going to blow by. Garza's just not got the defensive instincts or the foot speed to stay in front of
Yeah.
guys. I think both of them are shown that, with the right pieces around them and the right scheme, they can be viable defensive pieces as drop defenders. They're not going to be like showstoppers, but
Right.
I don't think they're going to be like drastic targets for teams.
Yeah, they're not liability. I don't think they're liabilities. And it was the same jargon about Simons. Oh, Simons is a negative defender, blah, blah, blah. I think the coaching staff, Joe, what they're doing, I think it deserves a lot of credit for coaching guys up and also getting the best out of their talents instead of trying to force them to be somebody maybe they're not. And I agree, the drop coverage has been more than sufficient here as far as quality with the both of those guys.
Both. And I think that, the way the Celtics run at the minute is they pinch on the elbows on penetration. They try not to let guys get into the wings. They want to funnel you towards their big who's in drop so then they can either contest in the restricted area, contest the shot, force you to pass it off, and then they can kind of like rotate out, X out, or just literally sprint out to their men. The Celtics have got their system down pat, and I think that when you look at their identity, for me, it's certainly on the defensive end more than it is on the offensive end, and it has been that way for a while. Now, with Vooch, just getting back onto topic,
Mhm.
Vooch is an unrestricted free agent at the end of this season. So the Celtics traded Simons to get Vooch, but they also did it to kind of help get under the luxury tax. Now, they have a decision to make during the summer. Garza has one more year on his deal after this year. So he's coming back barring a trade, period, right? So then they need to weigh up, Do they feel confident in Nemias Keita, Luka Garza, and then Amari Williams is like your backup big? Or do they want Vooch there? And if they do, what does that mean for Amari Williams? Or what does that mean for Luka Garza? You don't need four bigs on this rotation. You just don't. So that's kind of like, we've answered, do they need Vooch now? Do they need Vooch beyond this season?
I think Vooch is going to determine that. Here's the thing: if he goes out and plays vintage Vooch minutes for us, he might price himself out of coming back here, right? I mean, and that's the best case scenario for us because that maybe means we're hanging another banner, right? Number 19, because Vooch played that well. But if he doesn't, and it's kind of spotty and 50-50 like it looked like before he hurt his finger, maybe and I'm not sure. I'm assuming we don't have bird rates on a guy that's been in the league that long, right? So
Now, I mean, I don't think there's any bird rights coming with it. I'd have to double check that.
yeah,
I can do that while you're talking, actually.
yeah. But at the very minimum, I know part of the benefit of getting under the cap was us being able to have the mid level back next year, if I'm not mistaken. So I mean, if he's willing to come back for a respectable contract, I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't want him. I think Amari's shown that he's game when he's been thrown into tough situations, significantly better than summer league Amari or early on main Celtic Amari. I was very excited about that Jokic light that they were talking about, that he was at Kentucky and at Drexel where he's a great passer and a good defender. And he's definitely another excellent passer, Amari Williams. But
ridiculously good.
yeah, you can't like sleep on him. If he'll hit you, if you're open, you're going to get a good look from him. So I think what's cool about it is you have like a full arsenal of different guys. But I do agree, if Vooch wants to come back, they might be forced to make a tough decision. Not to ask a question with the question, but what do you think about the lineup of Tatum at the 5 that we've seen recently with Tatum at the 5? Because I could see like a big wing lineup with White, Brown, Shireman, Walsh, and Tatum.
So I like it in the sense that, and I've been on record saying this for years on multiple podcasts that I've been on. I always like rotations where you have decision makers at every position.
Yes.
Now, I don't care what that means. If you're a 5, if you're a decision maker, and Al Horford is a decision maker, he can handle the ball, he can score across multiple levels, he can create for himself, create for others. The more decision makers you have on a floor that can also play at a high level, the more chance you've got of being successful. Now, the trade-off of that is when you come up against a team that plays big and they play physical, you do not really want Tatum at the 5, specifically this season as he's continued to recover. Do I like Tatum as the 5 when they go small? Yes, I think that he gives you some, like a 0.5. He's going to run the offense out of that 5 spot. He's going to create for you. They're going to run inverted pick and rolls all day long because Tatum's at the 5 now. So he's going to be he's instantly got a built-in mismatch on pretty much every pick and roll option.
And he loves picking on bigs, Adam. You know he does.
He loves to isolate them bigs out on the perimeter. And he'd be able to do that. Like if he was at the 5 and teams are matching up like for like, he's going to be smoking guys off the bounce. He's going to be getting down the lane whenever he wants. So I do like it. I don't think it's sustainable. I wouldn't put it in the bucket of being a gimmick lineup, but I would put it in the bucket of like, this is maybe a 2 to 5 minute stretch.
It's
every now and again.
Yeah, matchup specific. You could probably get away with it against the Hawks, not necessarily against the Hornets, who've got Kyle Blanner and or even like we talked about the Knicks a little bit before. Like that's a big team, But I think if you're Joe, you're thinking like, okay, my option is Luka Garza, who's maybe athletically mismatched defensively against a team in the playoffs, or Tatum at the 5. Because I also kind of I guess I would say Luka and Vooch give me the same concern that I probably have about Peyton in the playoffs, when things become pick and roll to death to find that matchup. The Heat are the kings of that historically, especially when they had Jimmy, right? So I worry about that. I worry about Vooch Garza the same way I worry about Hauser and Pritchard when the playoffs come.
See, I'm not so worried about Pritchard just because the dude's a baller and he's gonna get scrammed out of a lot of stuff. He's also pesky enough to get underneath guys' hips and make it really hard for them to move him. If they shoot over him, it's going to be a foul. So I'm confident there. I think Sam's proven himself quite well, but I do get exactly what you're saying. Right. If you want to pick on a guy, then you're most likely going to pick on Vooch or you're going to pick on Luka. And if you have an athletic ball handling wing or an athletic guard that can create off the bounce, it's going to be really tough if they isolate one of those two bigs. So moving Tatum to that spot gives you kind of like a a secondary cover there that you can defend yourself with. Like, hey, Luka's getting smoked off the dribble. Vooch isn't going to fare much better. So let's slide Tatum up to the 5 for a minute and kind of kill that dead. And then we can go back to whatever was working
Right.
beforehand. I think that makes a lot of sense. It gives you a lot of value as well, because you don't want to get Nimi into foul trouble either. And if you're being isolated as a drop big, it's really easy to kind of give away those fouls, especially for someone like Nimi that up until this season was a foul machine. He's really reigned
Yeah.
that in. He's become quite controlled now. But you just don't want to let the moment get too big where he starts like putting himself into foul trouble. So that's a really good point. I do think it gives you that kind of release there that keeps you safe, gives Tatum an opportunity to shine as a different position. And as you said, allows you to put more wings on the floor, especially when Boston's wings are all like plus defenders. So
Yeah,
you
and
can really
rebounding.
play
I
lockdown.
can't get over. I'm a PC fan out here, and I can't get over the player Shyman's turned into.
Oh,
Like
dude, Shyman is ridiculous.
rebounding, defense. I mean, he guarded SGA better than anybody has all year the other night. It was impressive. And this
So
is
I
a
found
guy,
this on
you
I was
know,
on Basketball Index yesterday, and I was just looking at like some defensive numbers, and I saw that Shyman is guarding tier 1 usage guys, which is basically just like stars, basically. Like 14% or 20% of his minutes, like I spent guarding tier 1 usage guys, and he's doing really well. I think like Basketball Index likes to give like a ranking, like a B
yeah,
plus, an A, an A minus, and they'll give you the percentage like what he's holding guys to. But sometimes it's just easy to be like, right, he's on 20% here, and he's a B plus. So that's easy to conceptualize when you're just skimming data, but if you're not going
yeah.
too
I'm a
deep.
teacher, bro. That's my language.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
sometimes it's just easy when I'm just kind of skimming to see what's what. And he was at like a B on like tier 1 usage guys. Shyman's defense has been one of the most underrated developments of the entire
yeah.
season. And I know some people, there's a guy on Instagram, whenever I post about Shyman on Instagram, and he's like, Shyman sucks. Look at the box scores, the numbers are telling you it's bad. I'm like, but the defense, bro, and then like the tertiary
Decision
creation of like,
making, the secondary
oh,
facilitation
yeah, the
skills.
processing speed, it's all there. So I think he's had a really good season. Now, just to round this out, because I feel like we need to just give everybody listening like that final point.
Sure, man.
Are we agreed that Vucevic for this season is needed? After this season, a lot determines on what happens in the postseason and what price point Vucevic is going to come back at. So right now, Vucevic is on a contract that's 21.4 million. That's his final year on this deal. Then he's into free agency. I'm saying if they do bring Vooch back, I wouldn't want that contract to be anything above 10 mil.
Same. I agree.
I think that's a hard cap for a 36-year-old big on a roster that Luka Garza gives you probably 85% of what Vooch does right now,
For the
with the
minimum.
ability to develop into that other
Yeah.
15%. Why am I spending more than 10 mil?
Yeah.
Do you kind of sit with that?
I sit with that, man. I think it just goes back to that Brad Stevens. Like, I don't know it's not Moneyball. It's not quite Billy Bean, but man, has he done a great job finding talent at an efficient rate, you know? And
Yeah.
Luka's a prime example of that. Luka was an incredible college player, man. But like, you know, he's an inspiring player. Like if you're a coach and you want to tell a kid to watch somebody play basketball,
God, was that
Luka's your guy, man. Luka's your guy. Like he is, but the money we're paying him, an incredible return on investment. So I think we got to give Vooch an opportunity to be Vooch for this
yeah.
year. And then let's see where the chips fall for next year. But what a hell of a fallback plan to have Amari and Garza at reasonable contracts too.
I mean, I came into the season thinking the big man spot was probably the biggest area of weakness on the
Oh
team.
yeah.
And now
Oh,
we're
yeah.
going into the summer, like, dude, one dude's not going to make it because the rotation is just proving itself to be that strong. Like,
And
what
never
a
mind,
turnaround.
Brad has 3 draft picks.
That's true too.
When's the last time Brad has had 3 draft picks?
I don't think he's going to use all them though.
No, but
That's
still, I
that's a
mean,
topic for another
who's
time.
to say he's not going to draft the Reed kid from UConn or something like that with the
Yeah.
29th pick or 31st pick or something? I mean,
Who's that guy from? I mean, he's not going to be available in the 20s, but I can't remember his name. Who's the big man from Michigan? The
which
playmaking
one?
big.
Brandenburg or Mara?
Is it Adem Mara?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he looks like a reminds me of Roy Hibbert a little bit.
yeah, 7 foot Roy Hibbert that can pass like a madman.
Big
Like
dude.
that's a dude I'd be interested in if he could land in Boston and did the delay
Bigs
action.
always drop in the draft. They always
They
drop.
do.
South
I
Braddock-
like the idea of Mara. With
Yeah.
that being said, we're getting on to a different topic. Everybody,
Right.
make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, and make sure you like and subscribe over to the Celtics Chronicle newsletter. For anyone that's new here, Mike is in a band. So if you're in the Boston area, make sure you go and show Mike's band some love. Mike, when are your next dates coming up?
All right. So we don't really get kicked off till like May. And we the band's after school special, and we'll be playing at Bally's in Lincoln, Rhode Island at the casino. Second week of May. It'll be a good time. I'm actually at where the Connecticut Sun play basketball as well in May as well. So if you like
Oh man,
music, I'm your guy too.
the sun are leaving Connecticut. That makes me sad. All right,
So
with
it's a
that,
whole different. We need to have that conversation.
catch y'all later. Peace.
Hey, bro.